Hi there, Liz Detterer, founder CEO of Selling with Service, coming at you with another episode of whatever the show is going to be called. But want to talk to you today about how to create clients without being good on social. Fun fact, the first business I started almost 10 years ago, it was actually the second business I've ever started, but the one that got me out of corporate was actually a web design business. And it was really important at the time that you have a website and that you had a strong online presence because the internet was still kind of sort of new. Where that's gone to is that everyone thinks that if I have a website, they will come. The novelty of it, of course, is worn out and it's become more of a staple in the business. But with that, it's almost like if you have a phone, people will call it. And they won't if they don't know about it. So I don't recommend that you need to have a website out of the gate, and I certainly don't recommend that you need to have strong social out of the gate. And not everyone is wired for social. If you are, you are, but a lot of people are not. A lot of the clients that we work with in the Sales School for Entrepreneurs are not interested in having a huge, big social media presence, having a big marketing campaign, or doing anything like that. They want to do really good work with their clients, work well with their clients, have a boutique business of a handful of clients, and that's about it. And get paid really well, obviously. And by really well, I mean like a healthy six figures. I don't mean, the normal entrepreneur rate of like 25,000, right? Which is what the average entrepreneur is making, of 25 to 35,000. And I'm not talking about the $1 million scaled, either. So the first way that you can create clients without being good at social is, if you're not going to do social, you still have to be social somehow. So you have to get comfortable with the phone and get really comfortable with genuine, normal, human, authentic conversations with other humans. You have to get comfortable at doing that. If that's not your jam, then you really need to reconsider, your business as a whole. You have to have a way to bring people in. So getting really comfortable with normal, human, authentic conversations. And why that's so important is that people think that if you're in business, every interaction, every conversation has to be sales related. And that couldn't be farther from the truth, right? The sale is the result of having all these other things in place and process, but it all stems from having people who want to be in your world that you want to be in their world. That's where it all starts. And that's what we're talking about today. The first thing is you have to get really good at having genuine, normal human conversations early and often in a human relationship building capacity. The second thing is, you can't just go talk willy-nilly to everybody all the time anyways. You have to know your numbers. You have to know, and your numbers will shift over time, but I'm going to start you off right now with just like a boilerplate kind of rough numbers to work from. You have to know your numbers. How many clients do you need? How many activities do you have to do so that you're not just talking to people for the sake of and then not closing anybody? There has to be kind of a correlation there. So let's start off. I started to write this before and then I was like, let's just do this live. So let's say you want to get one client. All right, let's reverse engineer. What does it take to get one client? Do you make one phone call to one person and you get one client? That's the exception, not the rule. It's happened. I can teach you how to do a one call close. Total exception, not the rule. And we're not going to start there. So before that, the client is a result of having a really good sales conversation. And I'm just going to give you kind of a rough average number to kind of shoot from, that if you have 3 sales conversations, you should be landing at least one client. That's really good odds, really good numbers for a non-skilled salesperson. And what I mean by non-skilled salesperson is you, someone who's in business for themselves, who is not strong, who doesn't geek out about sales. You're kind of like, oh man, I got to do it. Yeah, you got to do it. So if you can kind of wrap your brain around having 3 sales conversations to get you one client, that's really good. So if we rewind back to having general, normal human conversations, those aren't sales conversations. You have to talk to people before you have the sales conversation. You have to engage with them, have a relationship with people, get to know, like, and trust them, get them to know, like, and trust you. And how many of those conversations do you need to have? And this is where people are like, oh my God, it's exhausting. I'll just share something on social. And if I build it, they will come. I'll just do a website. I guess I have to do a live. I have to do videos. You don't. You don't. If all of that stuff is not your jam, it's not your jam. And that's totally fine. And you still have to have a way to bring people in. So that's going to be the phone. It's having genuine conversations with other humans. So if we reverse engineer that 3, how many conversations do you need to have with other humans to get you those 3 sales conversations? That really is 10. It's a 10-3-1, right? And this is going easy on you guys. This is without real skill, without real training, without me going crazy into the details of it. That this is the kind of average you want to work for. And in another video I have here, I want to say it's how to fill your boutique coaching practice. In another video I did, I walk through the numbers, the math on how much money you want to make and why this is another way to get you to kind of what I call the entrepreneurial minimum wage, which is $120,000 a year gross. This formula can get you there. This formula can absolutely get you there. If you're charging appropriately, you know who to go after, you're having the right conversations and the right skill, etc. The third thing that you need to be able to create clients without being good at social, you have to be skilled at having human conversations, 10 of them to get 1 client. You have to know your numbers, which we just laid out for you. And then you have to have an identified sales process. And with a process, there are tools that come with that. You're running a business. There are tools and forms. I'm a form junkie. I love planners. I love, filling in the blanks. I love all that kind of stuff. So I create that in my business for things that work for me, and I create that for my clients. So this is just an example of form that I created to create content for the lives. Another form I created is the formula, what's the word I'm looking for? Structure, blueprint for how to have a successful early networking conversation, this 10 right here. And it's CCC because it's inside our training group on Facebook called the Conversation Creation Challenge. Because that's nice that you need to have 10 of these conversations. I give you the formula for how to have that conversation. So it's not a runaway train of, not right now, it's not a runaway train of babble. And conversely, it's not a hard sales pitch either. It's 10 healthy connection conversations. And how do you book those calls? All of that is inside the Conversation Creation Challenge. So all of that's done for you. The link is below in the description box. And that's the kiddo who knows not to interrupt me, but such is life. So Conversation Creation Challenge will give you everything that you need to be able to fill your calendar with the 10 calls. Within that also is the framework for how do you have that conversation so it's not a bobblehead or a runaway train or a direct sales pitch. Then from there, you can come into the Sales School for Entrepreneurs, which is currently at the time of this recording, enrolling on a pay-what-you-can basis during the COVID pandemic, because we all got to help each other. I have these tools and skills. If you want to pop in to get them and you're going to use them, go for it. So Conversation Creation Challenge walks you through how to fill your calendar. Sales School for Entrepreneurs walks you through the process that you need to do to get them from the nice networking conversation to engaging in a sales conversation. Good odds, good numbers, to do that in a really normal, human, authentic way so that you're not doing outreach with somebody saying, I'm a human, you're a human, let's have a conversation. And then they come into your world and you're like, want to buy my thing? Because that doesn't work. We don't do misalignment. We don't do things that are out of integrity. So this whole process from how to fill your calendar with those 10 conversations so that you're netting in 3 clients. I'm sorry, that would be really great odds, and that has happened, but fill your calendar so that you're netting in 3 sales conversations, and then you know how to navigate those conversations so you're netting in at least 1 client. And after you move through about 5 conversations with people, your close rate will absolutely increase closer to where you'll be operating at a 2-to-1, right? 2 sales conversations, close 1. So that's the process. You need to have a way to get the people on your calendar. You need to know the numbers so you know what you're working with. And then you have to have a sales process on how to move people through. And I'm going to leave it there. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I've got more videos where this came from. If this was valuable, please share, like, and subscribe. Pop over to the Conversation Creation Challenge, where we've got more trainings on how to actually fill your calendar with people who will want to talk to you. And then from there, you're invited into the Sales School for Entrepreneurs, where we just peel back the layer on all the trainings to how to help you create a boutique coaching practice business that you will love and that your clients will love and that you can turn on and off and get you that healthy six-figure revenue. So thanks for staying and playing, and I will see you guys later. Bye.